Hello everyone, my name is Kanashimi and today I want to show you my Frost Mage, which is able to clear level 40 to tier 50 nightmare dungeons easily. And yeah, we will go over the gear and the skill tree, and then I will show you the Paragon board, and lastly I will be clearing a dungeon so you can see this mage in action. It's a Frost Mage, and yeah, let's jump right into it. For the aspects and for the gear, cooldown reduction is our main stat, but also we want stats like all stat, dex, main stat, int, willpower. Life is a good one to have, but you don't really need it. Yeah, you need some damage mitigation, damage reduction from distant or close enemies, and also maybe damage reduction while injured, like on this on this pants here. But yeah, let's start with the helmet again. All stats, cooldown reduction, and we have Frost Nova imprinted here. Since it's a frost tree, it's a frost spec. Frost Nova is one of our main sources of damage, actually. And yeah, you want to have this imprint so you have an additional charge of Frostbolt, Frost Nova, and yeah, when you're using Frost Nova, you will be automatically yeah, send ice shards to the targets that are frozen. Yeah, our ice shards are really our damage, but yeah, when you're using Frost Nova, the whole screen will be targeted with ice shards, which has an immense impact in our gameplay. And basically that's everything we are playing around. So Frost Nova imprint is very big for us. Then I have this unique chest. This lets you pull enemies together after you teleported. So basically you teleport into a group of enemies and they are pulled together, then you pull your Frost Nova and everything explodes. Yeah, pretty mandatory. If you don't have this chest, you would be using some damage reduction stats on your chest, but yeah, you really want to get this chest. I got mine early with like level 60 or so, and got an upgrade pretty recently when I was level 98 or something. Okay, then we have this gauntlets. You have the option to go for a Frostburn gauntlet, and the other one depends, I don't know the name, let's check. It's for even more freeze, but I decided to switch to rare items for more damage. This is the Pants Ice Heart Brace. When you kill enemies that are frozen, you have a chance to unleash another Frost Nova, which is really nice. Even especially if you are playing in a group. While playing in a group, you would be playing with Fireball enchantments. So every time a group mate kills an enemy, you will be releasing fireballs. Fireballs have a chance to freeze through the Frostburn gauntlets, gloves, and then frozen enemies can be shattered and release more Frost Novas. If you're playing in a group, this might be the better option to go for these two uniques, but since I'm playing solo now and I am optimized for damage, yeah, I decided to go for this rares. And for the imprint we have I decided to go for extra attack speed on my core skills. Yeah, ice shards is a core skill, so I will be sending out ice shards even faster. And yeah, for the stats we have crit chance here. Crit chance is also a pretty big one. We have attack speed here, and it's lucky hit. Lucky hit because we are not really dependent, but it's nice to have since we have some some lucky hit chances, which I will be going over later. Okay, for the pants, if you're not using the Unix, I am going for a really strong damage reduction version of this pants, where you have basically everything is damage reduction here on this pants, and even the imprint gives me more damage reduction from vulnerable or crowd controlled enemies. So it really helps me to survive. But I don't want to lie to you guys. This build isn't the tankiest one. There will be I'm dying constantly with this build. Like every 2 or 3 dungeons I have it there. So maybe we will also die in this video. We will see. For the boots, I really like the +3 max evade charges on the boots. It really helps me to do good positioning and yeah, to unleash good frost novas. And then we have movement speed on this boots, willpower, and also nothing too special. Imprint is lucky hit chance is increased while you have a barrier. As I said, lucky hit is important for us, and yeah, at least it's nice to have for us, but yeah, I decided to go for this one. And for the weapon, here we go with a high DPS version, of course. I'm currently playing a dagger, which has implicit damage to close enemies. You can also play with a wand, which has a lucky hit implicit, but this one just makes a little bit more damage. Crit damage, injured damage, chilled damage, vulnerable damage, yeah, damage. It's a weapon, it has to have damage. And then we need this ice shard imprint. You really should be looking for a good one like this here. It's not perfect, but it's good enough where you have the pierce for 4 times and the small damage reduction of only 22%. If you get an even better one, okay, but I wouldn't suggest that you go with a version which only has like 1 or 2 pierce, 3 pierce, sorry, in this version, and like 25 less damage, since yeah, it really impacts how much damage we do. And then for the amulet, here again cooldown reduction is possible on the amulet, so I go for a high roll cooldown reduction amulet, and then I have like 2 damage reduction stats, and imprint is it's a damage stat while we have barrier, and we basically all the time have barrier, we deal more damage, which is good. And for the rings, rings crit damage, very important. Vulnerable damage. This one isn't perfect, since it has damage to stunned enemies. Yeah, we stun enemies with our teleport, since we have this this unique chest, which pulls the enemies together and stuns them, but it's not so good to have on a ring. Maybe you want to have something else, like damage to close enemies, like on this ring, where we have a crit chance, crit damage, crit chance, vulnerable damage, damage to close enemies. For the imprints, I'm using this this imprint which restores mana when you use a cooldown. Unfortunately, I only was able to get like this really low roll. It still works, but yeah, if you get a better one, you definitely should be using this better version on a really good ring, a ring that you maybe might not want to change in a while. And then we have this avalanche passive here. It's basically, it improves our avalanche skill from the skill tree. And maybe we can have a look at this one, so you better get a better understanding what this is doing. So avalanche makes you deal more damage and consume no mana when you get a lucky hit. And yeah, this avalanche imprint lets you have 2, not only 1, but 2 times you benefit of this effect. like it's not only for one cast, it's for 2 casts. Okay, and that's pretty important for us, since yeah, we have a slight mana problem with this build, especially because I'm using this this attack speed gloves here, and we can cast very fast, and then we run out of mana quickly. So this helps us. And then we have this offhand. Again, it's crit and cooldown reduction. Max cooldown reduction. I use this offhand for the cooldown reduction implicit, and also the cooldown reduction roll. And yeah, mana cost reduction isn't too important here. Could have been something else. Crit chance is again nice, and we have a damage reduction mod here, which is also nice. Imprint is a damage imprint, which lets us deal more damage to frozen, stunned, and immobilized enemies. Since we're using Frost Nova most of the times, we will benefit from this one. Okay, let's go over the skill tree quick. We have this firebolt points, and if you have a look here, we are indeed using this as an enchantment, because it enables us to have burn on almost every enemy, and we benefit from enemies that are burning, since we do more damage, and we get some damage reduction from Paragon. And also, of course, we have this Ice Charmed enchantment, as I told you earlier. Okay, and then we have, I have 1 point here in Fireball, so when I'm playing in group, I'm able to switch over to this Fireball enchantment. But basically, you want to go for Ice Shards and greater Ice Shards. You want to go for the elemental dominance. It's not mandatory, but yeah, which is really mandatory. A flame shield with shimmering flame shield, teleport with shimmering teleport, and of course Frost Nova with mystical Frost Nova. And I put everything, put all points in Frost Nova, so you have like 5 or even more if you get some extra points for Frost Nova on your boots. So the cooldown is as low as it can be. And then we have this elemental attunement, which is a lucky hit chance when we crit, and we crit a lot. There's a chance that one of our cooldowns is resetted, and oftentimes it's a Frost Nova which gets resetted. And yeah, we like that, because we want to have at least one Frost Nova all of the time to be able to yeah, defend ourselves. And I have this glass cannon point, which I didn't skill. It's from the amulet that I'm wearing. And then I have 1 point in ice armor. I'm using ice armor, then flame shield, Frost Nova, and teleport. So all of these skills are on my skill bar. Then not so much here. We have increased lucky hit chance, and we have this protection, which is really important for us. As I told you, or as you can see here, we have some benefits that only occur when we have a barrier. And yeah, you need a barrier, and this is the source where we get our barriers from. So every time we are using a cooldown, we get a barrier for 2 seconds, so we have like a barrier all of the time. Now, some points we can argue about this. You don't have to do this as I did, but yeah, I decided to go for a little bit of Devouring Blaze here. You could take the Fireball point and go for the 3 points in Devouring Blaze here, but yeah. Something that I believe is not so arguable for this spec is all the points that we skilled here, which basically improves our damage and lucky hit and this replenishes mana, this deals damage, also this deals damage, and yeah, we need this damage to yeah, get where we need to clear the high level Nightmare dungeons. And we have this Deep Freeze. It's the ultimate, the frost ultimate of the mage. I don't use this too often, but yeah, there are times where I love to have this button. It's a real good oh shit button. You are immortal as long as you are in your ice block. Also, it resets the cooldown of your other skills, and it also deals a little bit of damage to the environment. And yeah, and then we have this avalanche keystone. Also already talked about this. I don't think that we need to talk about this anymore. Alright guys, maybe we have a look at our stats here for a little. You want to go for high crit chance. This is really important for us, and then also crit damage is a good one. Vulnerable damage is an important one. Damage while healthy is its own bucket. You want to have this, and how do we get this? Maybe I can show you. Here is my Paragon board, and I want to make this quick. I want to don't want to go too deep into it, so we only look at the glyphs. We have non-physical damage on this glyph here. It's Enchanter. Then we have the critical strike multi with core skills, which is mandatory for this build since we are using a core skill here. And yeah, we want this extra crit damage, very good, very important. Then we have this, and also maybe we look at this one. It's damage reduction from enemies that are burning, and damage to enemies that are burning. That's why it's important to have this firebolt enchantment here, so enemies are burning all the time. Sorry, back to the Paragon board. And yeah, we have this crowd control damage glyph here. Yeah, basically it's all that we do. It's crowd control, chill, freeze, and then we have this. This one is very important. It's Imbiber. It's like I said, it's damage while healthy, which is its own bucket, at least as far as I know. Maybe information has changed meanwhile, but yeah, it gives us a good damage boost while we're healthy. We should be healthy all of the time, and yeah. Nice one for damage. Also we have this damage to chilled enemies. Frozen enemies are also considered chilled, so we have this benefit all of the time then when we're using our Frost Nova. And then we have this vulnerable damage glyph. We can argue about this one. It only gives like I think when I maxed it out, it will be like 30 to 40 vulnerable damage. Not too much, but also not bad, since vulnerable damage is its own bucket. But yeah, you can argue about this one. If you want to switch this out, feel free. And yeah, let's have a look. I just did in Crusader's Chamber, maybe some more tip here. If you just did a dungeon and now you are in town, now you, let me see here, Crusader's Cathedral, when you start exactly the same dungeon that you just did before, then you can just hop into your portal again, and then yeah, you are in a fresh dungeon. You don't have to walk to the dungeon again, and yeah, you save a little bit of time. And yeah, let's have a look at how things are going. It's tier 43 one, relatively low and doable. You can do like level 50 or maybe level 60. I didn't try too hard to push with the specs, since I was yeah, I was focusing on leveling my character and also my glyphs. And yeah, you see, okay, that wasn't so good, but yeah, Nova, a little bit of our ice shards and everything should be dying, even the big guys. One more thing about the spec, it's not so good in full clearing. If you have only like one enemy or so, you don't do such a good job in killing a single enemy. So you want to have some packs for your lucky hit chance and for your reset for the Novas, and yeah, so you will see a lot of the times you will see me leaving behind some of the mobs. Sorry, now I forgot to take this where's the key? The key is right here, sorry. Basically, I like this dungeon because it's pretty straightforward, and yeah, you have this closed door and the key is right around the corner. You get the key, and yeah. So here we go. What you will see me doing a lot is like port into the mobs, clear them, and if they don't fall like immediately, I will be using my flame shield, so I have a little bit more time of clearing this the room, and maybe I can show it to you in the next section of this map, which we have here. So let's see. So you will make channeling shrine is perfect fast. So we have a slower cooldown. You see, I port in. Now I'm using my my flame shield to get a little bit more time to clear. But yeah, the big guys are down. So and what you can see here, yeah, you do this ice shards, and yeah, what's also important, the stars have to align, guys. So it's not good to just hit an enemy with your right click, because you see you go out of mana fast, and you don't do this much damage. But if the enemy is close to you, and if it's frozen, and which is also considered crowd controlled and chilled, and also the enemy is vulnerable, which our Frost Nova does, then our damage is really big, and yeah, basically want to make sure that you always are in close range and have this Frost Nova up, so they get frozen and also vulnerable. Oh, and almost died here. Had to use flame shield. Yeah, and you see the damage is really huge, guys, and yeah, you need like 1 or 2 seconds to kill a mob. When you freeze it, when you don't freeze it, they don't fall instantly. And also, we are not so good boss killers. You will see in the end when I do the end boss, it's not the super best damage, but still very good, I would say, or at least okay. But yeah, now you see I'm out of novas. I don't bother with these guys. No time for this. I want to wait for Nova and kill some big groups, some big guys. If you do, your Nova resets pretty good, and then you have this. Yeah, you always want to make sure that you have at least one charge of your Nova, and yeah, maybe you can kill those here. Still one charge of Nova left, as you can see, and yeah, already did the big guys. I can now go to the end boss of the dungeon. Not too focused on speed running this dungeon right now, since I'm talking so much. Usually I'm a little bit faster, but yeah, I want to show you what I'm doing. This is the boss. We want to make sure it's vulnerable, and then yeah, as you can see, we are running out of mana, so we have to use some cooldowns here, and the boss is down, but it's not super fast, but it's still pretty decent, I would say. And yeah, that's basically my Frost Mage, which I'm playing currently, guys. I think it's pretty neat. Compared to other classes, maybe Druid is a little bit stronger here and there. Also, it's beefier. Of course, the Barbarian was much stronger than this one, but it got nerfed, like a lot. The Whirlwind Barbarian, at least. And yeah, I think now with our mage we're in a pretty good spot, and I really enjoy playing this sorcerer, and have a lot of fun. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned a little bit, and yeah, maybe you want to try out the spec, maybe you are already playing a Frost Sorc, and yeah, you have if you have some ideas, some tips, some improvements, let me know. I really appreciate this, and yeah, maybe we see in the next video. Have a good one. Bye guys.